the We Wreck Records podcast.
I'm a creative person and I like to explore, and all that sometimes can find you like when the wrestlers they go back against the ring really hard, and the ropes go back, and then they fly forward. That I I've experienced some of that.
This week on We Wreck Records, you'll meet a fascinating artist, Chaka Malik of Orange 9mm, the post-hardcore band who dropped Driver Not Included in 1995, a classic album we'll delve into. You'll learn stuff like the meaning behind the repeated refrain "commit yourself" in Glistening,
To an insane asylum. Commit yourself. Just stop playing.
and why the band wanted to make the record part Screaming Trees, part Smashing Pumpkins, and part Tribe Called Quest.
Like I want to have fun.
Yeah.
And Tribe Called Quest provides a framework, a baseline, for that. The Smashing Pumpkins piece, a lot of good emotion with Billy Corgan, and then Screaming Trees, just because Lanigan's voice, rest in peace to him, was just so deep, and that song "I Really Lost You There" was just so dug in, like from a groove perspective and from a lyrical perspective.
Fall in love with an album and fall into an artist. Hello, welcome to We Wreck Records, a new podcast by New Noise magazine, hosted by myself, Christina Rowett. Today we have a very special guest, Chaka Malik from Orange 9mm,
Woo, 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 woo.
to talk about a special record on its 30th anniversary,
Damn, am I
Driver
that
Not
old?
Included. This was a bit of a moment. You grew up in the cultural melting pot that was Queens,
Yes,
New York. You grew up on hardcore, but
I did.
this was a whole different thing. I was wondering, an album can be seen as like a yearbook photo. It's capturing like
Mhm.
the image of who you are and what you were doing at that time. How would you describe 1995 you as you were making this album?
Stretching a little bit, going with the flow. Those things might sound contradictory, right? To stretch and go with the flow, but um, my mind was stretching because I felt like, okay, like this is amazing. Like we have this label, like we have these songs. It's happening so quick. But then I was like, also like, okay, I like I gotta step my game up or something, right? It's like you gotta kind of rise to the occasion while
Mm.
also being like, yeah, this is great, and ride that wave, ride that energy. But we were all still pretty young, even though we weren't like 18 or like whatever, 20 or something.
Yeah.
Still pretty young. And that I think that youth was amazing because it not only, from an energetic perspective, kind of fueled the creative process, but it also kind of really allowed us to be aware of what was going on in the city at that time, kind of from an energetic standpoint relating to music and people looking to take the existing kind of frameworks, right? And
Yep.
and grow those out as hip hop got bigger and industrial came into the mix. And there was a lot of clubs in New York that we used to all go to, and you would hear all kinds of music. And for me, I really wanted to bring in some of those aspects into kind of the energetic shit that I was doing with Burn and the heavy stuff with Burn, and bring it into Orange Nine.
This show is proudly presented by DistroKid, and we have a special deal for all the musicians out there looking to release their new music fast. DistroKid helps over 2 million musicians around the world release on all major music streaming platforms and YouTube. You keep 100% of your earnings, can access a huge range of features, and if you like this show, support this show by taking advantage of this incredible offer, 30% off your first year with DistroKid. Just head to distrokid.com/VIP/We Wreck Records. This show is presented by Grillo's Pickles. Grillo's Pickles make the freshest, crunchiest, most delicious pickles. And even if you're not a pickle fan, you should try Grillo's today. Why not? Live a little. You can find them in the refrigerated section of your local grocery store, so chill out and eat a pickle. I read in an interview you said you wanted Orange 9mm to be a bit Tribe Called Quest, a bit Siamese Dream. Oh, sorry, not Siamese Dream, a bit Smashing Pumpkins and a bit Screaming Trees, although
Yeah,
Siamese
that was the
Dream out.
that was the framework, right? At the
Yeah,
time, myself and Chris were like, well, fuck, what do we like? Let's give ourselves some kind of a framework and anchor.
yeah.
And so that's what we kind of mutually came up with.
What struck you about each of those bands? Why Tribe Called Quest? Why was it that album or was it a particular, was it
Well, I
the,
mean, Tribe Called Quest had such a unique, and it's something I miss about hip hop now. Tribe Called Quest appealed to everybody. It appealed to the smart college kids we knew, the not so smart college kids we knew, the people that we grew up with in the hood, my mother. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone liked Tribe Called Quest, and it was just like fun and engaging and the kind of thing that like, I mean, for me, like I want to enjoy life, right? Like I want to have fun, like,
Yeah.
and Tribe Called Quest provides a framework, a baseline, for that. I think that the Smashing Pumpkins piece, a lot of good emotion with Billy Corgan and those songs with all the octaves, all the octaves and the noodling, and it just kind of puts you in like a not a carefree mood, but a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got a
Whimsy.
little bit of whimsy, as my dear friend Rory Prevalin used to say. Rory Warnke got some
Yeah, man.
whimsy in it, and
Well,
then Screaming
Suspect.
Trees.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Suspect feels like the Smashing Pumpkins moment, like the
A
intro.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Screaming Trees, just because Lanigan's voice, rest in peace to him, was just so deep, and that song I Really Lost You There was just so dug in, like from a groove perspective and from a lyrical perspective, and it just felt like so whole and so emotional and so vulnerable, right?
Totally.
Incredibly vulnerable. And so those three bands kind of carried the emotion. Obviously, Tribe had some of the beats and stuff like that that we wanted to kind of have as part of what people know us for, kind of thing. And
Hmm.
yeah, so that's I think that pretty much covers it. And I think there's also a bit of 70s retro that we were doing a tiny bit. It's not really that visible maybe, but
Yeah.
then that's coming out of the Screaming Trees stuff too.
Yeah.
Especially some of those brown guitar tones. They're not that gained up, but they're still kind of heavy, you
What's a,
know.
what's a brown guitar tone?
Sure, like you can have like what people might call like like a solid state, like super hard and like it almost hurts your ears.
Yeah.
But a brown guitar tone is kind of like imagine kind of like rounding that harshness of that sharp metallic edge. So it just kind of it pushes more girth
Yeah.
and
Warm?
low mid rather than the piercing. It pushes a different type of it pushes a lower frequency. It features a lower frequency in a bit more low end.
That's
Like
cool.
Eddie Van Halen's known for having a brown guitar tone. There's a brown, yeah, I think he's known for creating like people reference his brown guitar tone.
Well, on this album, like, are you really conscious of like that whole sonic palette? Like on Driver Not
Oh,
Included?
fuck yeah. Oh,
Like,
God, yeah.
you guys have a lot of
Yes.
discussions about that. Like, how did it,
Oh, I mean,
what was your
Me
kind
and
of vision
Chris were
for it?
like,
Yeah, what was
let's
your
say
vision?
again.
What was your vision for it? Like, what was your vision for the sonic palette?
Yeah, Chris and I were collecting guitars at the time, and Chris had like a fawn old vintage Marshall amp with like a fawn cabinet, like this fawn like that tan color. And we just loved vintage guitars. We loved the sounds that vintage guitars make. We love the sound that vintage pedals and gain, whether it's gain or phase or whatever, and playing into that really 70s kind of
Yeah.
rock, 1969 to 72 kind of era of,
Yeah, man.
you know, there was a lot of they were pushing a lot of volume at that time.
Yeah, talk.
There was had those high watt amps that like you have to turn it up to get it to gain. So they were pushing a lot of power. And I
Mm,
think that that's something that we really liked. And I'm not sure we tried to emulate it necessarily, but it's something that we liked.
yeah.
And I think it came across.
Well, it's kind of like when you make a film using certain film stock or certain cameras, using certain
Exactly.
cuts. Like it's the same kind of premise. You kind of conjure a time and a place in some kind of a way. Um,
But
just
to bring it to the driver not included, what
yeah,
ended up
please
happening
do.
is obviously
Please do.
We had Dave Jordan on the record.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Dave Jordan. Rest in peace, Brian Karlstrom, who was the engineer and really did most of all of the heavy lifting for that record. They brought in they added to that palette, right? And I think what they Dave Jordan envisioned, and once again, rest in peace to him, such an amazing, you know, producer, and it was great being in that studio.
Mm.
Um, they had a guy called Russ the drum doctor, and he would come in and like he would like have speakers so your drums were being amped and sent back into the live room. So like it's you're recording amplified drum sounds with your drum sound. And he had all these different snares and stuff.
That's
So
cool.
automatically, once you add that, so now that's going to change how Chris records. So Chris was doing like, 6 6 tracks, God knows how many tracks of guitars. I mean, it sounds great,
Yeah.
but then now, like, remember, like for me, like I had to sing way harder now because we went from kind of sounding almost like a indie band, almost in a sense, or that EP
Yeah.
to like something a little harder on the record, right? So it was a change, for all of us. And some of the vintage, it's not as vintage sounding as that EP is,
Mm.
but the Dave Jordan's and Brian Karlstrom's work on that record, the sounds on that record so hard. I love the drums, the snare on that record.
Mm.
They found a great mic for me because I'm very loud and I'm like yelling and like other mics were like blowing out. And
You
so
are a
they
bit
ended up
loud.
giving me a Sennheiser. I think it was a 441.
Yeah.
And I was screaming. I remember I was singing so hard for that record, so deep, like full throated that like I was spitting a lot, and they had to like, and I couldn't. It was hard to like keep spitting like in a buck, so I was just spitting,
Mm.
and they had to like they had to like rip out the rug and like replace the rug. It wasn't disrespectful. I was just singing so hard, and like
Yeah.
we're trying to finish a record, you know, and you're going so hard and like you're going with the energy. It's just hard to kind of contain that. So I was just kind of spitting
There's
in this
yeah.
area. No one knew, sorry.
No, you go. I just
Yeah,
sorry.
no one else was in the room with me. It wasn't like a biohazard or something like that. It wasn't like this building, this mountain of, mucus. It was just, I know it sounds gross thinking about it, talking about it. I don't know,
Mountain of
but I
Mucus.
had to do it.
Why didn't you call it Mountain of Mucus? That would have been a sick name for the album.
Mountain of Mucus was the original iteration of Orange Nine. It was we were going for a kind of a trauma thing,
It's this whole thing. It's a
like
whole fucking-
the Toxic Avenger energy.
This is true. Driver Not Included and that siren on the album cover. Is that about
The
law
helmet.
enforcement? Yeah, is that about law enforcement?
Oh,
Like
you
the
thought it
red
was a
thing.
siren.
I thought it was a siren. I thought this was like driver, like police
That's
driver not
ins
included. That's
that's amazing.
it's wrong. It's
No,
very
no, no, it's not wrong. It's art. You've interpreted and you've given me additional context. I love that. It's a helmet and it was designed. We had this guy Tad do the kind of album work. We hired him to do it. And
Mhm.
we bought that helmet at like a pawn shop, myself and Matt, I believe.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? We took a picture of the helmet, and then he was like, "Do you mind if I take it out into the desert and blow a hole in it?" We're like,
Oh,
"No, do it."
yeah, go for it, bro.
So he did. And I wish we had that. I have no idea where that helmet is. If someone has that helmet, please let me know. So we ended up using that helmet for the cover. And I love how iconic it is, at least to
Mm.
me. Whether it's a siren or a helmet, it doesn't matter as long as it's something to you.
So Glistening kind of sets the pace for the album. It's always interesting what you pick as song one. And you've
Hmm.
got a couple of lines I like, forget blindfolded deathbed promises, and a
Yes.
repeated refrain of commit yourself, which for a long time listening to it, I thought was convince yourself. So when I actually
It's not different, that it's energetically the same meaning.
yeah, so are you talking about committing yourself to music or committing yourself to art or committing
To
what
an insane
are yeah,
asylum. Commit yourself. Just stop playing. You're crazy. Just go do it. It's time.
what's been your life history with mental health?
I think that it's and I love this. I think and this because this is more interesting to me than, the dress of the studio where we recorded the record.
Yeah.
And I think my history of mental health is that I'm a creative person and I like to explore and all that sometimes can find you like when the wrestlers they go back against the ring really hard and the ropes go back and then they fly forward. That I've experienced some of that,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, but I think it's you live to talk about it another day, hopefully, and then you can
totally.
you can help others that are going through stuff. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
that,
mean, I've had friends step up for me when I wasn't feeling great about shit. I've had friends step up for me when they were like, dude, like I've had friends basically do like an intervention for me. There was one day like
me
I was
too.
out and just to keep it a buck. I'm like sitting, I'm out, drinking or whatever, and I don't even know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
But I ended up telling a friend of mine that like I was very, very unhappy, right? And I'm gonna leave it there, right?
Yeah.
And so the next thing I know, all these people just show up to the bar. Like my girlfriend at the time, my friend Jimmy Williams, Sergio Vega was there. Um, and this artist, Eric Foss, who's a great friend of ours. And, they took me across the street and they just were like, yo, like, we love you, all this stuff, just super positive. And yeah, it was amazing.
We need that, like that kind of spiritual thing. And like Devin Townsend once told me, he's like, being an artist is kind of like a mental illness. Like it's this compulsive need to create and to someone else
And
said,
and that leads you're never balanced, really. It's hard to be
no,
balanced.
no, because well, you're an open circuit. Like you're a raw nerve.
Correct.
Like if you're any good, you have a pretty narrow membrane between you and the rest of the universe. Like, and yeah,
Great
someone
point.
else said that like it's like the need to collect and connect. And talking about these different influences on this record, this art practice of bringing these things together is kind of a collecting and connecting kind of thing. What
Yeah, I mean, even
yeah.
like my just to share from a mental, but just to
Yeah.
at that time with myself and Chris, we're both kind of coming into our own as creative leaders as well.
Yep, of
And that led to some tension and stuff like that.
course.
Um, Matt's a very calming presence, a very assuring presence, as Davide can be as well for the most
Yeah,
part.
nice.
But just to bring it to the mental health piece, I think that, making a record can be difficult, especially when you have like you know, you're thinking that the people that, are your business partners, your manager, your label, blah, 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 they're in your ear, right? And they're trying to guide the process. Yeah, whatever. And then you have another band member and they have other people in their ear and they're trying to guide the process. So
Hmm.
there was, and I love the record, but to get there, sometimes you have people and they're basically everyone's trying to do their best to help you. Everyone wants you'd have a successful record and a great
Yeah.
career and all the
Win.
things, right?
Everyone wants to win. Wants you to win.
Right? Exactly. But then and this is the thing about making records, and that record, we were in California for a while, like 4 months making that record. It can be very, very trying,
Mm.
and I definitely there were some trying kind of moments, making that record. There was a lot of fun moments making that record. It was done at, now I'm forgetting, what's the name of the studio? Now I'm forgetting. And Marvin Gaye, actually, it was Marvin Gaye's studio. So that studio basically like, when the first day we got there, they were telling us, so this is where that Marvin used to hide all the drugs, and this is where they used to have all the people in, because like a lot of those records, like What's Going On, where you hear people in the background,
Yeah.
there were
There's
actually
some
tons
people
of
in the
people
back.
in the studio. So like we're in the studio and like it's that studio,
Yeah.
right?
Let's Get It On is
And
probably the best seduction song of all time. You can't really mess
oh
with
my God.
You can't mess
Yeah.
with it, man. It's untouchable. Like,
It
look
is
at
it
all
is
these
it is it
hacks.
is untouchable.
Decades of hacks. Like, you can't. Sorry. Sorry.
I
Go
agree. I
for
agree.
it.
I agree. I think you're right
Anyways,
about
like, no,
that.
we're going down a path. This is yeah, I look, mental like creating, I think like when you what did in terms of mental health and inner self and being an artist, what did finishing this make you feel? Well, because this is your first album. You'd made EPs and stuff before, but this was your first like long player. You had a record
I
deal.
think at the time I was so exhausted that I don't even remember.
Yeah, right. Fair play.
I don't remember. I'd be making it up.
Yeah.
It was just such a it was a longer process than I think everybody kind of was expecting.
Yeah. It's some
It wasn't an inexpensive record to make either.
Well, I like that there was money thrown around in the 90s on music. It's
Me too.
hardcore's pace sort of assaults the listener. But the songs on Driver Not Included are more of an invite to dance.
Yes.
You see the difference. How do
So
you
me and Chris were thinking like kind of what we wanted the energetic signature of the band to be like, right?
Yep.
So instead of like this kind of like songs where it's like a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, it was more like soccer chants as much as possible and upbeat music that you can kind of move to.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we were going for. Um, and I think that we achieved that on a lot of the stuff.
100%.
We wanted something, and honestly, it's really kind of a nod not to the industrial stuff, but kind of like saying, okay, well, if they can do it, we can too, kind of thing. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? With
yeah,
some of
yeah.
like the beats and kind of the heaviness and and kind of merging those things and creating maybe something different, right?
Yeah. What was it like the crowd response different between like doing a hardcore like everyone's running around in circles and running at each other, or were they what was
Yeah, I
like
mean, and
nine
this is what
mil
I love now. See, I love, even though like I love dancing in the pit, and that was something I really loved doing before I got into bands. Um, I love slam dancing,
you're a dancer. You're a slam dancer.
but slam dancing is not moshing.
What is the difference? Because I've always wanted to know.
Okay, so slam dancing, if you watch those movies like I think even like After Hours might have like a punk scene or some kind of like a late night scene in it where you see people with like they got the Devo glasses on and then maybe someone's got a mohawk and they're just kind of like throwing themselves into each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everyone's just kind of doing that, and everyone just kind of forgot who they are, and they're just kind of basically having a cathartic moment within themselves. Um, that's slam, and it's fun. That's slam dancing,
Okay.
and there's some aggression in it, still there's still some like some of the moss stuff where you're kind of, but
Like
it's not.
love.
It's
Modern
say
hardcore
again.
modern hardcore dancing is fucking hilarious.
But I mean, and it's a different thing now. But like, and so slam dancing is just really, it's almost like a rave meets hardcore. It's like
Okay.
people are just kind of, and also you can even do it like on a regular dance floor.
Yeah. You
You're
can,
just kind of bumping into each other and kind of having a little bit of style. You know what I mean? Like,
has
it's
it
really
got
more
more
about it's.
style? Has it got more
Say
style
again.
than moshing? Has it got more style than moshing a slam dance?
I think it does because I think when people that are slam dancing are very concerned about their fashion.
Yeah.
Even if they're like in those old Susie videos where you see people they look like just basic like college students, like journalism students, those old black and white Susie videos. um so like, yeah, they're just kind of like bouncing and kind of like, and she's got like the white and black kind of sweater on, makeup to break up, whatever, that video, she's playing live and she's just like doing that, and it was just kind of like they're just kind of like letting go. They're not trying to hurt anybody, but they're just acknowledging that they have something in them that has a desire to move back and forth.
Yeah, and I
And
think that
and that was the jumping. So it was the slam dancing and then the jumping up and down was a big part of the 90s thing. Jumping, 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 jumping,
you're a big jumper. Were you just,
bouncing. That was a big part of the crowd, the expected crowd reaction back then
that's it.
versus a mosh.
What was it like when you first played these songs live, the driver not included? What was unique about the response from the crowd and the feeling compared to like your previous works and like yeah, how did these songs change the dynamic or did they not, I guess?
I mean, we were just a bigger band at that point.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know that I recognized a difference per se. We
Mm.
just got bigger.
That makes sense.
Playing different shows, bigger stages that allowed me to do more of the stuff I like to do,
Yeah, yeah.
you know. And so yeah,
Yeah.
I just think it just for me it's a heavier sound than the EP, right? So it just allowed me to explore that, like a song like Disclaimer, it's it flies to touch the fire. It's hard, you know what I mean? Like
That's
I
a
just remember
great
like digging in for some of those parts. Like there's one short every plus. I just remember like just digging the fuck in on those hits, like oh no, no, and just hearing it coming back to me, just feeling so at one with that hard one.
yeah, you
Uh,
guys,
it's
you played hard
yeah,
on this thing. Like talking about Disclaimer, I love it. It's got like this great push-pull kind of vibe, and
correct,
the riff kind of bleeds through, like you can kind of hear it real buried. Was that an
correct.
intentional thing? It's kind of cool. I was listening, I'm like, oh, it's under the radar there.
Oh, that's your sound again that you were
That's
doing
my sound. That's
before.
my technical.
Is that your kind of
Because I'm such
characteristic,
an engineer.
your signature
Yeah, it's my signature.
sound bite?
Is it okay? You got.
Taste maker cedar.
Yeah.
Sorry, go
Am I
ahead.
doing my thing? Is it wise to touch the fire getting higher?
Getting higher. Uh-huh.
How do you get high spiritually and literally?
How do I get high?
Yeah. What
Wow.
gets you high?
I felt high answering that question.
Yeah, I know, I did too.
I said, how do I get high? No, I'm kidding.
Kind of thing a high person would ask.
I think I'll answer the terrestrial one first. I think I do enjoy marijuana from time to time.
It's legal.
Um and I'll have a drink from time to time, if it's called for.
Mm.
Um that was last night it was called for, so I did that, you know. but I think the to the mental health piece, right?
Mhm.
If you're seeking to gain um ground within your sense of self by
Mm.
getting high, it ain't gonna work.
It's annihilate, like it's oblivion. I think
Yeah, it's
I've
oblivion.
I've had an un I have historic I can't smoke weed anymore. I've had an unhealthy relationship with that because I felt it was escapism and it was stepping outside of it. And I think I was reading a book about like bad brains and like Rastafarian culture and then straight edge culture. And I find it really
Hmm.
interesting the kind of intersection like these things both happened in hardcore and weren't
Hmm.
always in agreement. What's your kind of stance on that whole like yeah, like bad brains kind of Rastafarian kind of thing and yeah versus straight edge. Not
Well,
so much of a question.
well, I think that this kind of ble bridges back to the what I was going to say about the spiritual side of getting high,
Yep.
which I think the first side part of that is to recognize that you are not your body. And once you recognize that, then now you can elevate out of that into the next realm. And then you go to the next realm,
Right.
right? Because one of the definition of addiction for a lot of people I talk to is when your mind is in your body.
Wow, I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Rather than being connected to like the superconscious mind and the
Rather than your
brain.
body being within your kind of mind field. Your mind collapses into the body and then, you know what I mean?
And it's like the ego. It's like grasping kind of thing, like the sense of
Well,
lack.
the ego has been relegated to finding whatever is the addiction
Yeah.
desired, right? The ego just
Instead of
becomes
ascension.
that.
Instead of like ascension of the spirit sort of thing.
Yeah, and anyway, for like yes, and for from an ascension perspective, you have to have that healthy relationship with the ego
Mm,
and that control over the ego to say, okay, I know that my ego is here to keep me safe, and the best thing to
mm.
keep you safe is to not change anything, even if you're in a shitty situation. The ego, a lot of the times, will try to convince you to not change stuff
But
because change is danger,
yeah.
right? So that's why people leverage, these days people are leveraging mushrooms, right? People are leveraging alcohol, prayer. I love to pray. Prayer is big for me, you know.
God is like having the sense that there is something bigger working like that ideally has your best interests at heart is a really calming thing. It's a
It's
really,
empowering because it's true. It's actually the truth.
yeah, like I think the universe is benevolent. Like I think it does, like, yeah, we'll die, but I think it
The
does.
universe is the universe is benevolent, and the thing to go back to what we're saying about the body and the mind,
Hmm.
but you have to actually approach it as a benevolent being. Like
Yeah.
I can think about people that have a relationship, friendship, or sexual.
Hmm.
How you approach that partner who was once willing to do all the things with you, right? Now you fucked it up. You've approached it wrong, and now the person is like, you know what? Okay, they're by.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is the same way.
Is it?
You communicate with it in a certain way, right? And the way you communicate with it is by how you feel,
Yeah.
right? And how you treat others. But how you treat others is going to be dependent on how you treat yourself. And most people think that, oh, I love my friend Johnny, but they secretly hate themselves. So how can you love Johnny or Jilly
Hmm.
or whoever if you have a problem with yourself? So forgiving yourself is a huge step as well, and creating space, creating some grace within your energetic field.
Well, your
And I
energetic
think
signature, yeah. It's like especially when it comes to music, like I've singing teacher told me once, she's just like, there's no, you can't hold anything back. There's no barrier. When you've got an instrument, you've got kind of a barrier between you and the world, but you can't hide where you are energetically if you're a singer. Like, how do you how did you like, for example, on this album, how did you prepare yourself energetically to kind of commit this to memory? And do you need to feel the emotion that you're conveying? Or how does like that relationship between your energetic signature and laying something down on record, what's the relationship for you?
Man, that I think that's a great question. And for me, the relationship is that when I listen to music, right,
Mhm.
I hear someone's expression and I don't like cover songs. We do a couple of cover songs, but I really don't like cover songs. And not because other songs aren't great. Obviously, I love other people's songs, which is, why I have a vast music collection. But that's their expression, right?
Totally, man.
That's theirs. So I have my expression. And for that, I had to look at myself and say, um, where am I at? I bought a bunch. I remember I bought the Jane's Addiction, Ritual Daily Habitual. I bought there was an Ice-T record at that time that was out that I bought. I bought a couple of records. And I
Mm.
remember that when I was first writing lyrics, I would lay on my side, right? And I would just listen to these records, right? And I was listening for space, listening for there's a famous scene in 24-Hour Party People, right? Where Martin
Yeah, that's a
Hannon's
great movie.
recording Joy Division.
Yeah.
And he has them like take apart the drum kit, right? They go put it on the roof. And he says this one thing, I want you to play the song again, faster but slower. And that sounds absurd, but it's actually not absurd. It's why it's fast, but it's also halftime, so it's slow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
man.
for me, when I'm listening to how people I respect approach riding the beat, so I'm
Yeah.
listening to Perry Farrell, I'm listening to Ice Cube, I'm listening to maybe there was also a PE record. It might have been that Ice Cube record with PE that I had gone back to or something,
Hmm.
if it was that record. And just kind of listening to how people rode beats and where the silence was, you know.
I've never heard anyone
That's
say
how I prepared
that.
myself.
That's really
You never
interesting.
what?
I've never heard anyone describe it like that, like looking for the space. There's something very black about the art of melody.
You mean
Like,
black
like
people?
it's a black art. No, 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 like dark. I mean, it kind of is a black art, I guess. But I meant like, like a black art, like the occult. But
Right, 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 right.
maybe there is a
No,
melodic.
no, but no,
Maybe it
no,
is a
you're right.
black art. Like
No,
a little bit.
I think it is. I think there is something hidden about.
It's a cult. Like trying to write melody. It's just like where does it? There's no rules. And I think that's what's so crazy about music. Like it's just, like four or five people making it up. Like
Yeah.
did it come easy for you? And when you kind of changed from like Burn to Orange 9mm, did things come more easily or was it always the same or did kind of
I
getting
think that things came differently. And to
yeah,
your point about how I feel after making the record, I felt better, I think, after finishing the lyrics, because I remember
yeah.
feeling that relief than after the record. But I think things did come, I think, relatively, easy for me. I mean, I've like on Pretend I'm Human, I resorted to spinning around in circles with the lights off, and other weird things like that to like kind of open up some stuff.
Yeah, spin around in
Um,
circles with the lights off. This is TED Talk. This is how to write melodies. Swing around in a chair with the lights off. It'll get you there.
no, it's literally you do
Like,
that and then you like sit down, you lie down, and like by the time you get your awareness back, like
that's dope.
it's crazy. I mean, I'm not saying to try it.
I kind of like it though. Some like as an idea. Why not? See what happens. See what comes
You're
out.
gonna get dizzy. That's the one warning is you will get busy.
Yeah, it's true.
Dizzy.
Well,
Dizzy. Yeah.
the alchemy of different people is interesting as well. Like, what do you think? So, how do I Davida? Is that how I say it? David?
Davide.
Davide. I said it wrong. So
Davide.
Davide,
Yes, boom, booyah.
Matt,
That
and
was it.
Chris, what did
Yep,
each
Chris Trainer.
on this album that was unique in your opinion?
What did say again?
What did each of your bandmates do on this that was unique and only they could have done?
Well, I mean, I think that Chris really got into his bag as newly signed major label guitar player, with some experimentation and a real desire to create a record. So I
Mm.
think that he had some good leadership in the studio.
How did it feel
Um,
working with him? What kind of emotion did he conjure in you working with
well,
him?
me and Chris, I think that our relationship got a little bit contentious, I think, making that record,
Mm.
at a certain point. Um, yeah, Chris is an amazing talent. I think we write great music together. Um, I think we were both trying to make the best record and kind of going about it kind of within our own ways. And it took a lot longer once again than we thought. So there was a lot of time to rethink about what was happening and ask yourself questions that there are no
Refine.
answers to.
Have fun.
And it wasn't like a negative thing. There were like no fist fights or stupid shit like that. But we were like young and like
Yeah.
away from our
Opinionated.
families, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was like it was an interesting time of like um
Yeah.
emotional chess in some ways. Like nothing really horribly overt, but
Yeah, man.
it was
What?
definitely some friction from the session.
It's like a slam dance rather than a
A
just,
little bit of a slam dance without the slamming. I think Davide, what did Davide bring? I think Davide brought his sound. Davide,
it's got bass.
kind
Yeah.
of
It's got funk.
Davide brought it that wonderful bass sound that's very unique, and I haven't heard anyone do it like that. He
Mm,
almost, I think it's the combination of the Thunderbird with how hard he hit.
mm.
It really felt like almost like it had some guitar um timbrage in it.
Oh yeah.
Um and I think that that was unique, especially at
Yeah.
that time. And but yeah, I think that's what they brought to the record. Davide brought his uniqueness. Davide is a brilliant mind and a mathematician at heart.
That's cool.
So he's like that, smart or intelligent in that fashion. And Chris, who's now is plays in Bush with Gavin Rossdale, has been playing with Gavin Rossdale for the last whatever couple of decades, I guess, or something like that.
He's so
Um,
English and posh, Gavin. I was like, I forgot he was English when I interviewed him once, and I was like, oh, you forget because he sounds American on record. He sings like an American.
right.
Just start anyway, side note.
I was gonna be posh today too, but I was
Yeah, you are
I
posh.
didn't.
You're heaps posh.
I had a pocket watch that I was gonna kind of break out, but
Yeah, you've got your Queen's glamour. It's your whole
you
it's your
know what? There's a lot of people from Queens that don't take nicely to Queens being played with in any
yeah.
fashion. So I don't want to get involved
Don't you get fresh with me, bitch. Yeah. And Matt, Matt
I
and
just
Matt,
want to put
yeah.
that out in the mix.
Yeah, word. Matt on drums. What did he do? What
What
it's
did he do?
yeah, what do you think he did that no one else could do?
I mean, just be mad. I mean, it's.
Yeah. It's not you can't
I
write
think
that
I
down.
honestly
It's album,
I
right?
think there's a better question. I
Yeah.
think that what's the answer that you're looking for? Maybe that will help guide the question.
I don't know. I think I failed. It's okay.
No, what are you talking about?
I did some that were okay, but I need to workshop this one. I don't know. I guess the people, the alchemy between you. How do you verbalize that?
There's a
I don't know.
question there.
Yeah. Yeah,
Say again.
what do you think that alchemy between you created energetically? I'm workshopping
For
live.
one thing, I think tension, which is good in a band. I think you want to have tension in a band. I think attention leads to explosive playing because
Yeah.
you're hitting the drums like you're annoyed at the person, even though you love them and you're making great music. And I'm not saying Matt was annoyed at anybody, but
Yeah.
there was camps in the band at some point. All the stupid shit that happens in bands.
Yeah, man.
Um, but I think that it's the tension, but the challenge is how do you keep that tension alive, right? How do you make that tension something that's a mainstay without it eroding relationships and stuff like that? You
Yeah.
know?
Creativity is a funny thing. Suspect, I like. I think it's a dope song. It's got a kind of yeah, eases you into it a bit more. And I feel like the musicality in your voice is quite prominent in this song. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
that was a song that we recorded later
Yeah.
because we wanted some other flavors on there,
Mm.
and we actually shot a video for Suspect that never came out. The
Oh
guy
yeah.
Shoddy, who is an old friend from New York, who did the video for I think it's Glistening.
Yeah.
Commit yourself, get down. I think it's that video. We did a video for Suspect, but it never came out.
Yeah.
And I think Chris was concerned about going to radio with Suspect, so we kind of really didn't push it that much
No, it's a dope song.
because it doesn't really sound like the other stuff.
No, it
But
doesn't.
I liked it
It kind of
because,
stuck out. It was interesting. Like, yeah.
right.
How is your skill level with your voice?
Yeah. I think the skill level with my voice, I think that as we moved into me trying to sing more,
Mm,
like I didn't have a lot of experience doing that.
mm.
So it was something that I just started to develop, over the years. My coming from hardcore, my approach to writing a beat or doing the music really didn't have a lot of concern for notes. It was really more about phrasing and attitude and that kind of thing.
Mm.
So then when we started doing stuff where I was kind of like wanting to kind of sing more, that was like a whole new learning process. And I went to this guy, Don Lawrence, who's an amazing vocal coach here in the city,
Cool.
to try to help me, right, in that regard. And he's a wonderful guy. Did a great job helping me. But it's still something that, I'm working on, today, getting better and better. But it was definitely a stretch for me to try to sing more than just whatever, yell
Yeah.
or rap.
Well, as yeah, I've had music teachers say like it's the goalposts are always moving. You're never going to
They
get there.
better be.
You're never ever going to get there. So just accept the
Correct.
fact that you're always going to be
Absolutely.
running. You're always going to be
Absolutely.
running, and that's just the way it is. What do you
Absolutely.
want? What do you want the legacy of this album to be? What do you see it as? What would you like it to be remembered as? In
What's weird?
30 years.
My honest answer is I don't care.
You don't care. Cool.
Not really.
Well, you're still making, you know?
I mean, it's one of these things where I love the record,
Yeah. It's
but it's to have a leg. I mean, I'm we're doing music. We're doing music now.
yeah,
So
man.
I think the legacy. I want the legacy of the record to be. Let me take that back. And I'm not sure if you're going to edit this or not,
I
but
can
like,
if I feel
I don't care if
strong.
you do,
Yeah, thank you.
because this is honest, right? This is
Yeah,
honesty.
100%.
I love the record, but the way
Yeah,
my mind works, I'm more looking at the present moment,
yeah, word.
right? And so when I think about something like this record, which it's a great record, and we're doing a 30 something records is actually re-releasing the record this year.
Great.
So it'll be available on vinyl, which is fucking amazing. But I think really at the meat of it is I don't think there's anything to prove. I have nothing to prove with this record. I
Mm,
think if you had come to me about some solo stuff or something I'm doing, I might have a different answer. But with
yeah.
this record, I just think the record stands on its own for what it is, what it did, what it does.
Yeah, man.
And so I think it speaks for itself, I think really is the answer.
If you could time travel back and like tap young Shaka on the shoulder and tell him something about what was going to happen in his musical life, what would you tell him?
Ugh.
Just a nice small question.
Learn how to play piano.
Play piano. Do it now.
No, I'm serious because just to grow my musical foundation from then,
Yeah.
you
Wouldn't it be
know.
great if you could do that? Like go back and learn a skill. Like tell yourself to learn a skill and then you suddenly
Well, you can take an accelerated approach to learning a skill by using hypnosis and other things.
really
Um,
done that?
oh, absolutely.
Really? Okay, yeah, let's
Absolutely.
okay. What have you learned via hypnosis? That's dope. I didn't know that was a thing.
You can learn whatever you want.
That's cool. Okay, I've learned something today.
Yeah, you can learn whatever you want. You have access. Every one of us has access to everything that has ever happened. It's just a matter of what area of space time are you focusing on right now, right?
What do you
So I
think?
think maybe
No, you go.
what I think what?
No, you keep going. You're a
Well,
mint.
ask the question.
What do you think happens when we die?
That's a crazy question. I just lost dear friend of mine, a guy named Sausage Jenkins, who I grew up with,
Oh,
dear brother of mine, and I hope that he is somewhere comfortable and enjoying his new whatever incarnation he's in.
mm,
But I think some things that I agree with on a lot say it's a man's thing to live once and then die and
yeah,
then be judged. I think that there are finer realms than this one that one goes to. I do think that if you carry over energetically, right? The same way if I go to sleep in a shit mood,
mm,
I bring that shit mood into my sleep.
yeah. It's
And I'm not
dangerous.
just saying that like I'm gonna wake up and not have a great night's sleep. I'm gonna put myself in because when you dream, it's just as real as when you're awake,
Word.
right? Literally. So you're gonna bring that into your sleep life and you're gonna dream. And there are many spiritual texts that tell you that your dream life, your sleep life, what that is it's obviously it's rest for the physical body, for the nerves, right? But it's also a chance where you kind of tap back into the infinite to get your instructions, right? Or to place your order with the universe. So people will tell you that if you go to sleep in your mind doing a thing, active using all your five senses. So let's say you want to own a bakery. If you go to sleep in your mind, like doing up the tally of the bill of all the receipts from the bakery that day, you'll end up in a situation where you'll be doing those things. As an example called the ladder uh, uh, prac practice or whatever, a ladder example where you go to sleep climbing a ladder, but you also tell yourself, I will not climb a ladder. I will not climb a ladder. And then people report and out of the blue, be like, yeah, I ended up climbing a ladder, whatever it is. I never climb a ladder, but after I said this and did this thing. And so the point is that if you can tell yourself that, then you can tell yourself that you want to be healthy, you want to be happy,
Yeah.
you want to look younger, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I think I look pretty young, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Um, you know, and better your relationships. Like if I let's say if I'm like, oh, that bitch Christina, fuck her, she fucking sucks, whatever, I hate her, and I don't talk like that. But let's say I'm having that exactly right, and I have that picture of you in my mind, right?
Yeah.
And I'm walking around with it, walking around with it. When I see you, you're gonna smell that on me.
It's
You're
so
gonna
crazy.
know.
Like, it's like, I feel like this is the bottom line is like getting control of all these unconscious things, or like, I don't know whether we can ever have control, but guidance, being able to guide it. Like, talking about
Yes.
going to sleep and willing things into existence. It's like, if only I could work out how to put my hand on the wheel kind of thing.
Well,
Like
where do you think the wheel
sometimes,
is? Where do you
where?
think or what? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Well, the
know.
wheel starts with your subconscious mind. All right, so this just reminded me of the
Yeah,
lyrics to
we're just getting weird
Guyatone.
at the end. So, guys, we're just gonna have a
No,
moment.
no, we're not getting.
Here. Yeah,
I'm bringing it back right now. Right,
I like your
I'm
style.
bringing it back. I'm bringing it back.
Yes.
Okay, so this lyrics to Guyatone. She can take the words I make and trade me for the idea to strip my face and hang me with the skin. Hang me with the skin. Stained reminders are dividers. We've all lied. We've all tried to gain relief from real life nightmares, from real life hells. Sometimes I just want to yell that I want to give it away, that I want to give it away. It's burning a hole in my head. Right. So it's clear that this lyric is expressing the fact that, that there's an attachment happening and that attachment is creating uh a dis-ease, right, in my mind, right? So that's the first thing to recognize. Okay, well, shit, like when you think about people that are in your life, when you think about your art or whatever, it's what's bringing you, not to sound cliche, but what's bringing you joy? What's making you happy? What elevates? What gives you a smile? And what are the things that make you feel like, oh my God, that fucking sucks? And for
Yeah.
the things that you think, oh my God, that fucking sucks, right? You might say, okay, well, shit, like why do I have a negative outlook on this fucking thing? Right.
Yeah, dude.
And just taking it back to shit like if you were responsible for making life better, your own life better,
What would you
you
do?
know, sane reminders are dividers. We've all lied. We've all tried to gain relief, right? Stained reminders are dividers. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. That's fucking this thing again.
Yep. So
We've
much
all lied.
repetition.
We've all tried to gain relief. It shows you that the mind will go through these tricks and backspins and twists to try to create a sense of power and place, preeminence. That's the ego, right? To say, you're fine, you're good, you're better than that, especially if you're in a position where maybe you feel like you should feel hurt,
Mm.
right? And those are the times when the mind is sinking into the body. And now
Yeah.
the body wants revenge and it wants all these things instead of recognizing, oh my God, like,
I'm
and then
infinite.
I say this others, who needs all this pain to live inside their bones? Remind them of the point that love once entered. So you search your soul, you search your soul. Stained reminders are dividers. We will try to gain relief.
Mm.
Now you can't see this shit. I can't see the pain in my bones, right? But you can feel it. It's real,
Yeah, man.
right? In this as a lyric, right? And I think it's really important from an art perspective, mental health perspective, creative perspective, friend perspective, that the shit in your mind is as real as the shit that's out here in whatever the fucking third dimension,
Yeah. It's a
you
really
know?
it's a really good reminder to connect back to that slipstream, the bigger picture, and kind of recognize when your ego is just thinking you're small when you're not small at all.
Exactly. And that the universe has your back. And hey, if your friend's being a dick, just give the motherfucker some grace, right? Give the motherfucker a little bit of grace.
And I
You
think
know what I mean?
mortality, like, I'm sorry for the loss of your friend. I lost someone when I was really young, and it had a really big impact on me in terms of going, you're never going to know when the last time you spend with someone is. Like, you're never going to know
Absolutely.
what's the last time. So you should always let people know how you feel about them. And that doesn't even need to be words. It's like energetically, like, communicate what they meant to you. Because yeah, you never know. We all our time with each other is finite, and it's, like, I think it's an important thing to yeah, to remember that, and to go into life trying to give as much as you can, and kind of know that it's not limited and it's infinite.
Can I add something to that really quick? That's really important. And then I did a live on our Orange Line profile. And
Yep.
I was telling people, I was like, hey, like it's great for the outpouring of love for friends, celebrities, whatever, pe important people, whatever, when they pass away.
Yeah.
But what if, right? God forbid, what if you were to show that love to a person as they were still alive? What if you were to post that person on your profile and give the whole thing about how they were so nice and they were so kind? Do that when a motherfucker is alive.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Christina. Oh my God. Yo, this is my Christina. She's dope. She's got a great sense of humor. And I got to tell you, this one thing happened and she had my back.
Thanks.
Fucking amazing. You know what I mean?
Bye.
Like, I'm so thankful for her, guys. If you don't follow her, you should, because you're gonna learn XYZ. And I just gotta say, yo, that's my homegirl right there.
Yeah,
Think
that
about how powerful that is.
it's so powerful, and I don't think anyone hears enough. Like, yeah, like, one of the things. I know we're just going off on a random tangent now. We'll close this out, but like, I I I think there's no way I can drag this back to whatever we're meant to be talking about. But like, I've been like trying to reset my inner voice lately, like, because I've always had a very negative inner voice, and I've found that trying to reset it and humanize it and turn it into like this kindly old lady making like cookies or whatever, wearing like
But that's not honest.
yeah, but it
So you're gonna fight against it. That's
yeah.
not honest.
How do we, okay, so this is my final question. How do we fine tune our inner voice so it brings out the best in us? That's my final question for We Wreck Records.
Well, I think that you have to, you know what? I'm gonna bring it to a song. We have a song called Can't Decide, right?
Yep.
And Can't Decide was written about a relationship with my dear friend Rory, who I love then, I love now. She's still my best friend in the world. And the song goes, stand real close to me and do just like I do. Open your mind and cock the trigger back far. Pull it at the point where you feel most pain. Pull it at the point where you feel most alive. I can't live. I know we can't live. Life's so dirty. We're so lost. Standing on the edge of our lives without a dime or a thought for a dream. Living just trying to fall head over heels and love with something, right? So the whole point is like this youthful like yearning. We know there's something out there. And then the next thing, and this is I'm using the word hit as a metaphor for life experiences or land spikes in achievement in life. The next verse goes, "We are waiting for our hits to come. We are waiting for our hits to come." I can feel mine rolling along like a song that makes me warm. I can see yours rolling along. Your eyes tell me nothing's wrong. How does this feel to smile through our tears and grasp wild in the darkness with no fears? And then it goes back into the standing on the edge of our lives. And the whole point is that like we are waiting for our hits to come, meaning like I think she was waiting to graduate from NYU, right? I was waiting to do other things in my life. And as we're going through these hits, which are these emotional experiences,
Mm.
crescendos in life, right? And seeing the emotion on the person's face as I'm not going to cry, but I want to cry when I just thought that. Seeing the emotion on their face as this real life experience is creating this, oxytocin flooded, chemistry, and you're
Mm.
able to see that and live that with a person, right? Knowing the good and the bad that's going on in each one's lives and getting that window of joy and connectedness, right? So I think that if I were seeking to better understand my self-talk and my inner voice, I would start by admitting some of the things that maybe I feel like um I'm not being honest with myself about, right?
That's a
And
cool
then
way.
I
That's
would,
a cool question.
and then I would forgive myself for those things, right? I don't believe in an intellectual approach. I believe that your frequency changes your desires, right? So I think, and then I would begin meditating,
Yep.
right? I would begin meditating and I'll begin saying, okay, when I have the desire to talk shit about somebody, I might just not do it, you know?
Yeah,
And
man.
I'm not, and in some ways that seems really boring. It's like, oh, what we would talk shit. It's fun.
Oh, that's
Hey, you know what?
energetically,
Maybe it is,
that's
but
low rent. It's
it
energetically
it
low
it
rent.
it you pay a price.
Yeah.
You pay a cost for it in your mental emotional freedom. And it
Yeah.
sounds really weird to say, but I've learned that,
That's really interesting. That's
you
so
know.
that's some homework, everyone, to go away if you sometimes you need to treat treat Chaka like a spiritual guru and ask him for spiritual advice. This was Re-Rec Records. You should go and source the Orange 9mm Drive It Not Included reissue when it's out,
Yes, coming out on 30 something records later this year.
which is exciting. So thank you very much for sharing a bit, wrecking some mystery. We appreciate you.